continue with this, we need to have a correct English order. It's what we embrace, we're comfortable with it, and that is what will serve the situation better. And of course, the opposition will go on complaining because that's the other side of Singapore culture. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Reynolds. And without further ado, to round up his position as the opposition team, Mr. Benjamin Lee. Oh, no, this is just for your segment, yeah?
Okay. I don't have much by way of quantity, because I believe that what I'm about to say speaks volumes. Punishment does not work. ERP doesn't work. ERP is our most famous form of punishment. We still get traffic jams everywhere. And I agree with Adrian saying that we don't realize that there are nuances. This means that there's a whole spectrum of English. There's no black and white. You can't say that there's good English and bad English just like that. We shouldn't punish people who speak bad English, firstly because the people who should be punished are people who make bad speeches using perfect English. But I believe that I believe that punishments do occur naturally already. If you make a bad speech with reasonably good English, you don't get an audience. Take, for example, PAP political rallies. About the same number of people as S-League match. The other problem, is that there are many different forms of English. You could be speaking good English, but in many different forms. To say that we can police good English by having a corrective English order is unreasonable and quite frankly impractical to impose or to put in place. See, I can't even speak properly. For example, there are actually 56 different forms of English in the British Isles alone. Don't Wikipedia it now because no signal here. The Queen herself speaks her own English. I mean, just take the royal plural, for example. I mean, that's wrong. That's plain wrong, but that's the Queen's English, and we accept that for what it is. Also, if you were to police bad English, how are we going to implement it? I can only think of one way. Random police roadblocks. Random breath testing. While they're testing your breath for alcohol, make one complete sentence with the word breathalyzer. Go. That might work. That's probably the only way it will work. So we don't have the resources to actually police this. I mean, then we have to take teachers out of school to police, and there's a complete waste of resources, and that goes against the whole intent of having everybody speak good English. For the good of the country, we say, for the good of the economy. The only two things that are good for the economy are casino number 1, casino number 2. English doesn't matter. Seriously, look at Thailand, I mean, apart from the coup, they still get more tourists than us. Look at every other Asian country. People love the fact that they don't have to speak their own language when they go there. They have a little bit of mystique and mystery. This is why people say that Singapore is boring. It's actually bad for business to speak proper English, be completely understood. Also, on the argument that it's bad for the economy, I know they didn't make the argument, but I'm going to put it in anyway. If you really wanted to improve the economy and inject funds into the economy, you should let everybody speak bad English and create a whole industry of translators. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miyagi. All right, so before both parties have a chance to round up their positions, it's actually our turn now to have a thought and a contribution to what you've heard so far. I'm going to just give us, as a good class management teacher would do, 30 seconds just to confer with the person next to you, form a thought, have an opinion, because the mic in my hand will go to you very soon. All right, so if there's anything burning you want to share, just raise your green or green thumb or the red thumb to let me know. So it's just a quick 30-second chat with the person next to you. Give us some music for this time around, please. All right, just a quick chat. And I think I'm going to be persuaded to go towards the ladies because so far the conversation has been very male-dominated. I think it's time to let the ladies speak. Yeah. Feel free to criticize either parties, either team, make an issue, or respond directly to the notion, okay? All right, I think we are good. Yeah, I think we're doing good. So that I'm just the one standing between you and tea anyway, so I don't want to incur the wrath of all your hunger. Okay, so I'm going to just invite, is there anyone amongst us, preferably the ladies, to just contribute the female voice to this discussion this afternoon? Anyone who want to wave a finger, the thumb, not the finger? Anyone at all? The committee member just came to me and said, please don't come to committee member, chop. This is Singlish, it's not allowed here, but do not touch them, but go to the members of the public. Anyone at all? Okay. Unfortunately, as with all good Singaporeans, we're just very reserved and very shy when it comes to taking the stand. Is that the young lady who wants to speak up? Oh, gave me the false impression. I'm going to just probably invite someone from nearer me, this wonderful theatre practitioner. I was introduced to her earlier this afternoon before I started the program. It is actually Ms. Guo Jianhong, the Artistic Director of the Theatre Practice. Thank you, madam, for making this possible. If not, this lesson cannot continue. Ms. Guo, please. Just a thought.
No, I think it's great if we can speak proper English, but to make it a correct English order, that means we need to have plenty of police to police it. And I'm not sure, actually, how many of our English teachers are good enough English teachers, sorry, MOE, to police the correct English order. So I think that's an aspiration, but I think we have to start training a lot of our teachers, and our teachers have to be creative teachers to make English learning not just about an order, but fun.
Thank you, Ms. Guo. I think I must stand up for my colleagues. I think there are many of us who are doing our best job in the classroom to be role models of the language. And I think we will strive to improve. That's why we have professional development. And not all bad things come from us. There are other influences too. Thank you very much. Yeah, to the teaching faculty. Woo! And I'm going to maybe perhaps consider the perspective from one who has really seen the country grow in the media industry and really just seen the evolution of our language formation as a standard variety to come up with something that we have perhaps drawn too close to our heart as a Singapore variety. So I'm going to ask my inspiration, the very first person that gave me the role modeling of not corrupt pronunciation, not the Freudian slip I was hoping for, darn, after all that setting up, of correct pronunciation, Mr. Norman Lip. Dear sir, your thoughts, please.
I think there is a place for Singlish or broken English because in informal occasions, I think it's all right, but in more formal occasions, I think we should speak proper English. Particularly, I think, correct pronunciation. I go around listening to students in St. Andrew's School who walk past in my estate, and I hear a lot of mispronunciations. I'm more concerned with that, and I hope that the schools would pick it up and correct their mispronunciations, because how much better it would be if you could speak well. I mean, we can understand you if your thoughts are good and whatever you have to say makes sense, but it would be much better atas sikit, yeah? I mean, you raise your level a little bit higher. People respect you if you pronounce correctly, particularly if you can pronounce the TH sound correctly. Right. And not 3 and not 3, yeah, okay, students? Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the reminder. All right, thank you so much. I think it's just fun. I think enough is enough. We will just now hear the rounding of the positions by the both sides, and then let's decide which of the two debating teams that you want to give your green or red vote to. Okay, we'll do that in a while, but let's have any opposition speaker to start for this 2 minutes to round out the position. Opposition first, between Mr. Yes, all right. Mr. Miyagi again, taking the floor.
Hi, Norman, big fan. By the way, in some parts of Ireland, they pronounce the TH as thank you as well. If you were to police English, you will end up having something like a prohibition. Nobody would dare to speak. Everybody would go underground. You'll be literally speakeasies everywhere. Not only is our ability to speak English or in any form good for us. I mean, we learned that for national security, our Air Force used Singlish. But the one thing that I want to round this argument out is that we're not asking for subsidies for our bad English. We're just asking to be left alone. Because if I speak English the way I speak and everybody else understands me, is it really bad English?
Food for thought from Mr. Miyagi. And now for the proposition, one of the gentlemen, Mr. Adrian Tan, will close us this afternoon.
Comrades, we are all here today wanting the same thing. We all want one thing. We want to be understood. We want to improve the way we communicate with each other. We want to speak better. The question that divides us is, how do we achieve that purpose? On the one side, you have the proposition coming up with a solid, time-honored solution of coercion, fear, and humiliation. We know that's how you teach English because it has worked in our schools. On the other side, we have the lefty, pinko, liberal crowd who say, oh, it's okay, it's all right. Let young people experiment. No, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe some of us mature folk can handle speaking bad English. But the young ones that I worry about, what if they start experimenting with subject-verb disagreement? Where will it end? So, for once, we say we have to take a stand. Maybe those below 18, we make it illegal to speak bad English. Because let's face it, they can't handle it. They can join the army, but they can't speak bad English and they can't vote and decide the fate of our nation. But it's okay to give them a gun. We have also been accused, ladies and gentlemen, of proposing a solution that is unreasonable and impractical. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Singapore government we're talking about. We're fine with that. Frankly speaking, all we want is an answer to this question. How do we make Singaporeans speak better English? Do we leave them to their own devices and have this laissez-faire attitude where now and again the Speak Good English movement comes up with ideas, charts, entertaining solutions, the soft approach? Or is it time to take a stand and say, no more, stop, turn back the tide? We want Singapore to be above all that. We want Singapore to be better. Today, you get a chance to say something about this. You can either say this about the motion, and that is a very negative and unwanted attitude. Because if you say this, then I will say this to you. Instead, ladies and gentlemen, do, for once in your life in Singapore, do this. Have a free vote. And vote this. Thank you.
Thank you so much to the four debaters and speakers. Thank you for the member of your audience that contributed to such an exciting afternoon. Now, this is the crunch time. We have to make the call. I'm so glad and thankful that I'm the MC. I'm neutral party. I'm not involved in this. But I'm going to put someone else in the hot seat. Chairman, Mr. Goh, could you be our judge and decide from the audience response based on the waving of the green thumb, when I say the opposition or the proposition, your energy, enthusiasm, and the noise you generate will decide which of the two teams win this afternoon's position. Okay, are you ready? All right. Who feels that the opposition were more convinced? Let me try this randomly. Let's start with proposition. Who feels that the proposition this afternoon has presented the most convincing case and you are lending your voice? Yes, sir.
I'm very confused, because I don't know whether they're talking about letters of the alphabet or the letters of the alphabet.
That was a punchline, okay? All right. All right, so here we are. For those of us who support the proposition, Mr. Adrian Tan as well as Mr. Simon Reynolds, make some noise and wave your green thumbs, okay? Hey, sir, you're supposed to be non-biased. But he can't, it's difficult. All right, so whom amongst us actually feel that you are standing by the side of the opposition, Mr. Miyagi and Mr. Gwee? All right. Now, what do your sharp ears tell you, sir? He is trying not to be what we call gelong, right? So I think based on the enthusiastic response, this afternoon's debate of this House believes that Singapore should introduce a correct English order goes to the proposition, and this will come in place. All right, congratulations. Oh, Mr. Go, before you go, I'm going to invite you to present our guest speakers with some souvenirs prepared by your team. The runner-up team receives retro rulers for your graphic design for your use. Can we invite Mr. Miyagi and Mr. Gwee to receive their rulers? And for the winning team, this is really a collector's item, yeah? This is a foldable version of it, and I don't know how the team found it, but this extends. It's a sign. I don't think this motion is supposed to stand. Anyway, I will get it back in order and find it, and Rita, please help me. Please reimburse. I'll reimburse you for this. It didn't come with instruction, but it's your gift anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, my fault, but they are the victors. This afternoon, the proposition, Mr. Adrian Tan and Mr. Simon Reynolds. It takes a person of their generation to know this well. I never used this kind of ruler before. There you go, the broken ruler. And to Mr. Simon Reynolds. Thank you, Mr. Go. Thank you so much.